our original charging idea to charge was a DC charger in like a Otto Bavaria place. Right now we're heading to a mall to see if we can leave it overnight. It's much slower charging, it's AC charging. What I didn't know at that point though was that was actually just foreshadowing for the utter havoc that would happen to us on our trip back to KL. Our destination is 42 km away. Right now the range is reading 46 km.
I don't even want to see it anymore, but I keep looking at it.
Stop looking! Charging! Okay, time to find out if the car survived. It's still there! Is it charging though? Is the question. It's blue. It's not unplugged. Good point. Ooh! Look at that! Boom! Means we don't have to stop by the DC charger, hopefully. 463 km range. We got a short shoot after this. And then it's off to the races. Back to KL, where we will wrap this whole adventure up. I'm excited. Okay, this is the full cost of a whole night of charging. Holy! After we left Gurney Paragon, we hit some twisty mountain roads around Balik Pulau before heading back to KL. At this point, we were already wrapped and we thought that we were all done with the shoot. I thought that we had enough range to last us all the way back to KL before needing to recharge. But looking at the range on the trip meter, it looked like that bit of spirited driving took a bigger toll on our mileage than I thought. Okay, so we're on our way back from Penang, heading to a DC fast charger in Sunway, which is basically where we started this trip. It is a 318 km journey, and we have 339 kilometers of range. This is gonna be exciting. Now, if we drove the car super economically the way it was probably intended in eco mode, we probably would have made it. But we didn't. We drove it the way you drive any normal ICE car in Malaysia on a road trip. And that meant by the time we were nearing Ipoh, there was a slight chance that we wouldn't make it.
So after we left Penang, I slept in the car because it was a tiring day. And then when I woke up, Boris was like, okay, we're gonna take a pit stop at Ipoh to like charge the car and also chill there. I'm like, okay lah, sure. Okay, so bad news because originally our plan was because we did not have enough range to get back to charge. We thought we'd stop by Ipoh again, grab some funny mountain, and also stop by the place that we charged last night, Tian Xiang, to borrow their 120 watt DC charger. And we got chased out! Even though our charge EV card worked, even though we charged the night before, apparently you're not allowed to charge it now, and they want to charge us 2.40 ringgit per minute. We're gonna see if we can find a different charger. That changed that whole plan because that was the most like high voltage charger in Ipoh that we could find, and that ruined the whole plan lah. And we're like, okay, fine, whatever. So we said, okay, why don't we check along the highway? Now the thing is, when you use this app to find for chargers, it does say it's available, but it doesn't tell you whether it's working or not.
Throughout the road trip, we had a couple of applications installed. The main one that we thought we could rely on was the Charge EV app. After all, they have the largest charging network in Malaysia. But the problem is, the app doesn't always tell you when chargers are not working or under maintenance, which meant that sometimes when we pulled into a rest stop thinking there was a charger, it was under maintenance. And when this happens, all you can really do is soldier on to the next stop.
So we found this charger like along the highway. We went there. Funny thing is, petrol cars were parked there as well.
So I'm at the Tapa R&R right now. Just charging up the Kona before we head back to KL. And look, What car is in the other charging bay? Do you know Proton made an EV saga? Curious. And as we were charging, we saw several different cars that were definitely not EVs using the EV charging bay for parking. Alright, so after charging for a little over an hour, we have 46% left and just over 200 km of range. It should be enough to get us to our location. Maybe enough, probably. So yeah, also look, a new EV just pulled in, Proton X70 EV.
But we thought it would make sure that we will arrive KL safely lah. But sadly, along the way, Rory was like speeding along to make sure we arrive KL like not too late. He was like speeding, and I'm like, okay, means the battery is going to go lower and lower and lower. And that's when I started fighting for freaking chargers along the way. Because you really need like those high voltage, chargers to make sure you charge fast and also, you don't have to waste time along the highway.
But there was none to be found, which meant things started to get really interesting. It's getting quite exciting now. We have 55 km to go. We have 57 km of range. Holy crap! Okay, desperate times call for desperate measures. Time for Eco Plus! Bong! Eco Plus! We get no range increase. What the f? Okay, sit rep. Our destination is 42 km away. Right now the range is reading 46 km. We have just pulled out all the stops. Eco Plus is on. We are sitting here with no aircon, no radio, only navigation, and this light obviously, because otherwise you can't see us. You can clearly tell that we did not anticipate this because the video crew has already arrived in KL. And we have no cameras, no audio. Oh, do we have audio? Actually, I think we might have audio.
We have audio.
I can't be bothered. So yeah, we have none of this. Honestly, I'm not that concerned about the range. I'm more upset that I don't have a video crew here to film this epic for TV moment, even though it's not for TV. Okay, so yeah. So what happened was we topped up at Tapa, right? We spent about a bit more than an hour there. Problem with this Kona is that it only supports 11 kilowatt AC charging. So even though the terminal is 22 kilowatt, we couldn't get the full boost. And it's not a DC charger, so we couldn't get super fast DC charging either. So we settled for 11 kilowatt. We got about, so when we arrived there it was about 130 km range, and we charged all the way up to about 200 km range. And then we tried a bit of a spirited driving to come back. And now we're just cruising, like literally cruise control is on, radar guided. I'm following behind a lorry to reduce drag. We're doing everything, guys. We're doing everything. I don't even allow Lovey to open the window because it creates more drag. So we're gonna see if we can eke it out. I'm a bit disappointed in Eco Plus. It didn't seem to add a lot, but maybe it takes time because you know how it was. So it was +2 when we engaged. So that means we had 2 km over the range versus distance. Then now that we've enabled Eco Plus, it is now +5 km. So it's 44 km range, 39. Oh, it just ticked over to 38. So that's +6. So it's like a gradual thing. But dude, you know what else is gradual? The sweat coming out of my body. Holy shit. And I can tell you it is way faster than whatever this is.
At one point, right, I wanted to order a freaking Grab, but then I was like, ala kasihan Rory, weh. I have to leave him with the car. Don't know whether the tow truck can tow the car or not also. Now I'm like, okay, never mind. We got this.
It's looking a little bit dicey, but I'm good.
I'm finding like anywhere that's near for us to stop.
Yeah, Lovey has been searching on PlugShare for like the whole time. The whole time she's been swiping like, where's the charger? Yeah.
She, if you can't tell, she's kind of, she's a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious. She's like, she cannot even look at the charger anymore. I was telling her, don't worry, because like EV battery makers, they're not that stupid, right? Like, come on, they know that people using it are stupid. So it's like, if the people using it are stupid, that means the 0%, they won't build the battery that 0% means completely no charge. It makes 0 sense. You know, that's probably going to be like 5 to 10% charge. Like, you know how your petrol tank, even though it reads 0 km, it's still, you can still jalan one, you know. So I'm hoping that battery EV makers are applying that kind of logic, that the people who drive their cars are going to be stupid like us, and that there will still be like 10% left. So fingers crossed. Like right now the battery bar is like so small I can barely see it anymore.
I don't even want to see it anymore, but I keep looking at it.
Stop looking!
Did you believe me when I said that we were gonna make it?
I want to say yes, but there was some doubts in it. Just a little bit.
Do you think if we lower the brightness of the screen, it will give us more battery?
I mean, right now we're desperate to try anything.
Did that any range? No, it did not. But we didn't lose any range. So, who's the real winner here? We don't even have luggage to throw away because all the luggage is in the camera car.
Yeah.
The only luggage is Lovey's. Oh! We just ticked over. We are plus 10 now.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah! If I didn't eat so many onigiri just now, right? I think we would have more ranges. Oh! What if I off the hood? What if I off the hood? There's like a hood here. Low battery! Oh! We just got the bing bong. It says low battery. Holy 8% left only. Dude, not even 10%. Look at that. That's the low battery. Oh, hallelujah. Feeling okay?
No? This makes it worse.
No, it's really, just press OK. Just press OK, it'll go away.
It was very scary, especially I think at one point it showed like a notification that your car is low and whatnot. And I'm like, oh no. When that notification came out, it got me feeling even worse. I was like, oh my god, f my life. And it was raining, you know. And then I put the window down. Rory was like, let me put it out. It doesn't make it any better. And I was like, f damn hot, you know.
Almost there, we're almost there. We may be in darkness, but our future is bright.
I like the positivity.
One of us has to be positive.
And then I have to listen to Rory's radio. Rory became my radio, you know.
Got a douchebag in the car in front. He doesn't know how to let you in.
Since we didn't have enough charge to head to our initial charging location, we decided to change plans and go to LaLaport instead, which is a shopping mall near our office. But the problem is we weren't sure where the chargers were or if they were even working at all.
Thank God, like our friends like call us and say, okay guys, it's working. I'm like, yes. But the thing is, will we make it to LaLaport?
As we closed in on the location though, the mood in the doom and gloom mobile was definitely improving.
Do you want to turn on?
Okay. Hi. See how we laughing all the time. Very hot. It's not almost fine.
What is this guy doing? Monkey!
Are we in Penang still for some reason? It looks empty. It's empty.
Can you see
No,
what the sign-
he thinks that the cable is in Amin's car. Should we just make him panic and be like, oh sh**. Hello? Yes?
The cable kat kereta Amin eh?
Sophie, the cable is with us. Hold on. Hi.
Is it good? I see parking. Is this?
Okay, there.
Parking. Entry 2.
Nice.
Charging.
Incoming. Oh, Rory, no! Don't waste it, Rory.
Yo, they're here.
Oh my god, I've never
Holy
been so happy.
guacamole.
The car is here. Please.
We made it! This car is like cold already.
Yeah, it's so cold.
Bro, look at that. You can't even see that. You can't even see that anymore. That is the limit.
I'm gonna go get the
6%. We reached 6%.
Now, could we have avoided this if we drove more economically or if we planned things a little bit better? Maybe, but the thing is, it happens sometimes. And in an ICE car, when things don't go according to plan, that usually just means an extra fuel stop. In an EV, that's an extra 30 minutes of charging. And that's only if the charging station that you're going to is working. For me, after trying to live with an EV in Malaysia for the first time, I think I faced 4 major challenges. The first is that the app ecosystem is a little bit of a nightmare. First of all, you need to have so many different apps installed on your phone just so you can find a charger. And then you need to have a couple more installed just so you can pay for the charging that you will need. Yet, despite how crucial some of these apps are, a lot of them are not super reliable. Take the Charge EV app, for example. Like, this is the largest charging network, right? And yet, they can't even tell if a charger is under maintenance or not. Sometimes they even have a charger that is listed as unknown. What is that? How can you have... Why is this even an option? Don't you know whether your charger is working or not? For us, the most reliable app was PlugShare. That was the one that we ended up using the most because it's sort of like a Foursquare for charging stations. It uses crowdsourced information, so that means you get useful tips and hints, like for example, where exactly the charger is located, if it's in a multi-story car park, or what you can tell the guard if you are planning to charge in a residences or something like that. So that was kind of useful. Number 2, the charging providers are also just as varied as the apps. For example, you have Charge EV, who offers their plans on a subscription basis. So you pay one fee a year, you get a card, and you get to use all their charging stations. Then you have people like Jom Charge and Park Easy, who offer pay-as-you-use services. And then Shell's doing their own thing, I think also with Jom Charge, though I'm not entirely sure. And then you also have independent providers, like for example, car dealerships. Some of them have chargers. You also have residences. Some of them have kind of fast chargers, shopping malls, and you have companies like ABB who offer DC fast charging on their premises. As a result, I'm never entirely sure if I'm even supposed to be there or if I'm even allowed to charge at some of these locations. One example would be the ABB charging station, which is, I think it's in their warehouse. So when I pulled up to it the first time to charge, the gate was closed because it was on a weekend. Then suddenly the gate is open, and as I drove in, the gate closed behind me, but there was nobody else there. So I pulled up to the charger and I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. It looks like I was trespassing. Okay, after the initial charging woes, I have finally found a proper DC charger near my house. It's from ABB. It's in Sunway. Hell yeah! Look at that. Looks like a gas station. Oh, you can't see the screen. But yeah, so they have a couple of options. They have the 43 kilowatt AC, 50 CHAdeMO. I don't know, is that how you're supposed to say it? And then a normal 50 CCS DC charger. So that's the one I'm using. I think it's the correct one because it's working. And instead of seeing the pathetic 1.2 kilowatts, boom, that's what we're talking about. Not sure why. Not sure where the final 5 watts are. Maybe it's a car problem. But yeah, ABB. It looked kind of dodgy because the place was closed, right? So the gate was closed. Like that gate was closed. But I pulled up to it and the guy just opened the gate and I just drove right in. Very nice. Adding on to that uncertainty are the charging ports. If you thought Lightning and USB-C was confusing, then you're definitely not going to want to deal with an EV. Like, first of all, there's AC charging and DC charging, just the current is different. And then you also have the type of ports where you have stuff like Type 2, you have CHAdeMO, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it. You also have like CCS and a bunch of other proprietary stuff for some cars like Teslas, for example. Like, it's a nightmare. It's just something screen that overwhelms you with so many different letters and numbers that it raises the bar for entry just so high. You know, it's so vastly different than it is now, where you just pull up to a petrol station, stick the nozzle in your car and fuel up. Most Malaysian frustration that I have to deal with is people hogging the charging stations. Like, it just feels so bad that as an EV driver, you pull up to a charging station desperate for charge, only to find that there is like a PHEV plug-in hybrid car that's parked there and it was plugged in 10 hours ago. Like, what are you charging? The battery in your car is like a AA battery. Like, seriously, you don't have to be plugged in 10 hours at a time. Plus, you have a petrol engine. You don't have to charge your battery to get charged to use it and save fuel. You don't need it to get home. You know what I mean? But I get it. You know, parking in Malaysia is sometimes very hard to find, and the EV bays are just so conveniently located right at the entrance of whatever shopping mall or you know, rest stop that it is. So, you know, it's usually empty. Why not just park there? Plus, there's also the fact that, you know, our charging network probably wouldn't be nearly as extensive if, you know, people didn't buy plug-in hybrid vehicles and demand charging stations. So, you know, I'm not here to shit on you. I'm here to bargain. Dear PHEV drivers, if you want to hog a charging bay, please hog the ones that are slow charging. You know, the 7 kilowatt ones, the 1 kilowatt ones. Go and hog that. But please don't hog the faster ones, the 22 kilowatt chargers, because EV drivers need that to survive. Sometimes they drive all the way down from Penang and are left on 8% battery and they don't have enough to get home. And if your car is there taking the charge, then they cannot go home and then they have to sleep at the shopping mall. So at the end of the day, is it possible to live with an EV in Malaysia? Currently, I'm saying maybe. But if you are not interested in, you know, picking up like a steep learning curve or figuring out what kind of ports you need, what kind of chargers you need, what kind of kilowatts will work for your car, and if you have battery anxiety, then, you know, I wouldn't recommend it. You see, Malaysia's problem with, you know, EV ownership or like living with an EV has a lot more to do with infrastructure and, you know, proper maintenance and a good app ecosystem. It's not just about buying another new car, and because of that, it's much harder to fix, and it'll probably take a much longer time to fix if we're talking about, you know, making EVs livable in Malaysia. Even in urban cities, like as you will probably find out in the next car review that we do of the Volvo XC40, even if you're in like a developed area, you're gonna run into some issues too. So yeah, right now it's kind of a mess, and I don't really see how this is going to be solved in the immediate future. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching the first part of our Kona EV review and, you know, requesting this second part of the video. I really appreciate it, and I hope this has been educational or informational for you as someone who's maybe thinking of going to EVs or as a new EV owner. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What has your experience been as an EV driver? Like I said, my experience is I'm still a newbie, right? I've only had about a week with these cars. So yeah, I'd definitely love to hear your thoughts as maybe seasoned EV owners. Leave them in the comment section below. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. But our home on the internet will be at SoyaCincau.com. So until the next video, I'll catch you then. Bye.